envision the most effective chair you've ever seen at a meeting. You can probably come up with some pretty good things about what they're doing. And I can also say the reverse is somebody who's just let a meeting go sideways. So you may want to ask yourself, what are some of the things that they're doing with that? Arriving late, never a good idea when the chair arrives late. A little hard to start the meeting on time. Taking credit, the mumbles, the dominating. That's one of the things, but I'm in the chair. Why shouldn't I dominate the conversation? Well, it really has a chilling impact on the rest of the group around the table. If the chair is, if somebody makes a comment and the chair's got to respond, and somebody else makes a comment and the chair has got to respond. Pretty much it looks like the chair's the only one doing anything. It creates a visual aspect of you almost look like you're bullying the rest of the group into the decision. So as a chair, you want to sit back and it's like, speak up if you absolutely think it's necessary. If not, let the rest of the crew have a go at it. Before the meeting, various things you can do to get ready. You too are preparing for action rather than reaction. You want to think about, okay, if this happens, what do I need to do procedurally? You can write scripts for yourself, which outlines the language of here's the steps we need to take. Nobody ever said you had to walk in cold to a meeting as the chair. This is the real challenge of a chair. What you are trying to do is balance these three things: issues, people, and time. When I'm talking about balancing the issues, what you want to do is monitor your progress on the topic and assess whether the issues have been covered sufficiently. If the answer is yes, what steps can you take as a chair to facilitate closure? If the answer is no, and it looks everybody's just speeding like a train trying to get off, get to the next stop, but it doesn't look like it's having the discussion you need, you want to think about what do we need to do to slow it down and ensure that the issues are receiving the care and attention they need. With regards for the people, how do you facilitate inclusion of members in the discussion? You want to think about it in terms of fairness, common sense, equality, and treating them with respect. So one of those things is, how do you help the newly elected trustee, especially if they've never been in this position before, help them to understand of where they fit in their role and what's going with that, and making sure that they have an opportunity to ask the questions that they need to ask. And they may be asking more questions of, I need more information about this, and that's okay, because you're helping them learn their role. And the other thing is time, because time is money. Haven't you heard that one before? So you want to make sure the time you invest in the meeting is invested wisely. So you want to keep an eye on a clock. What about progress? Here we are with this. Do we need to proceed any further? Do we need to speed anything up? Are there steps we need to take? Do we need to take a break? Because everybody's eyes are just sitting there. We've had way too much coffee. We're not going to make it for another few minutes, and we're all going to lose quorum because we're all bolting out the door. These are steps that you can take as the chair during debate on what you can do to help move things along, to take care of the issues, the time, really things that are there. You want to be, one thing is being impartial about assigning the floor. What you're going to find, especially if you're sitting in a group, I'm right-handed. I know I tend to look to the right. That's always where I look first. So I'll put notes for myself. Okay, check the left this time so I can actually see who's got their hands up for there. But it really helps people to feel to be involved in the meeting process. These are things, chair behaviors to just kind of check yourself. So like I talked about, making sure you're recognizing people that need to be there. As much as possible, try to avoid speaking against the motion. When you're in the chair, you're in control. What does it look like if the chair is always speaking against the motion? Yeah, that's a bad idea. Yeah, that's a bad idea. It just creates that sort of impression that everybody's looking, going, what's going on here? I'm not saying don't speak against the motion, but I'm saying pick your battles. Things that you can do for meeting management. I won't read through all of those, but there are just some different things you can think about. Ends the meeting on time or earlier. Yes, I've never seen anybody complain about an early meeting. It's usually like, yes! The chair's setting the tone. If the chair's ready to go and boom, as soon as it hits the magic hour, you're going, away you go, and then you've gone through the meeting and been efficient, people will come to your meetings because something's getting done. And that's what you want to try to do as the chair, is to help things get done so people feel that, you know what, that was a good investment of my time, as opposed to, man, I can't get those 2 hours back, no matter how hard I try. After the meeting, as the chair, what you're going to try to do is figure out, what can we do to have better meetings after? How can I support everybody who is involved in that meeting? Making sure you've got everything that needs to be done and doing what needs to be done and getting ready for the next meeting. Characteristics of a good meeting. You want to make every meeting matter. If it's something that could have been talked about in an email, why have a meeting? I love meetings, but I like good meetings. I don't like wasted time meetings. And if there's a better way of communicating that information, if there's no decision to be made, maybe it's better just to communicate it through an email. Effective meetings. You can have the best meeting in the world, but if you don't have these 3 things, your meetings won't be effective. They'll be good, but they won't be effective. Action. You want closure. You want to know that these decisions that have been made aren't just going to sit on the shelf. You want to have an idea, where are we going with this? What are the next steps that need to be taken? A strong chair certainly helps, but good minutes. Good minutes are absolutely critical. There was this study where they taped a meeting, and 2 weeks later, the participants were interviewed to find out how much they really remembered. 8% only remembered what happened. And of that 8%, 42% got something incorrect, and there were people who remembered things that didn't even happen at all. Minutes are so critical because you need that legal document that says, this is what happened.